What's up guys, welcome to a Gala Games video. Today we'll be covering the Grape Rush guide so you can compete on the weekly competition or just to get your stars every day and get paid in town coin. Without further ado, let's get started. So, as you can see, I spawned into a forest biome, and that's the biome that you'll want for this Grape Rush guide. Why? Because the lake biome gives you enough extra lakes to where you can sell some or most of them. I would sell all of them and just keep one, and that extra cash is gonna let you afford all the resources you'll need throughout this Grape Rush guide. So go ahead and destroy all your lakes except the middle one, and let's move on to the next step, because then I'll list out everything you'll actually need for this Grape Rush guide. Now this is what it should look like. Fairly empty field with just enough water to get your grape farm started. But we actually need a lot more than just a lumber mill. So we'll need exactly a refinery, a lumber mill, enough energy to support our refinery, enough water to support our refinery, and enough petroleum to support our refinery. Why? Because not only are we gonna make a grape farm, but we gotta make it sustainable. So we'll need enough gas to make it sustainable. So I'll end up teaching you how to make sustainable gas in this guide as well. If you're still new to Downstar and don't quite follow what I'm saying, don't worry about it. This will be step by step. So long as you follow what I'm doing in the video, you should be good to go for a decent end result. So to get started, let's make our energy source. Now let's move into our warehouse so we can store our energy source, and then probably a lumberjack after that so we can get enough wood to make our lumber mill. Now that the lumberjack is done, we can move on to make a water facility and a worker house so they can work the water facility. Now that both of them are done, we can focus on the lumber mill so we can finally get started in the grape farm. And now that our lumber mill is done, we can start producing lumber. So then we can start making our farms and weaning off the wheat sales that we've been doing and into much profitable sales by selling the grapes, which give you around 27,000 every single packet of 10 you sell, which is a big increase in the regular amount of money you're getting. I just want to remind you guys to keep an eye on how much you're producing of anything, because if you're overproducing, then you're wasting your money. And if you're underproducing, then you're also not, maximizing efficiency. So if you're producing too much lumber, feel free to make it stop so that it doesn't take up all your wood if you need to build anything else. And at this point, just make sure to expand your grape farm and build lumberjacks or workers or builders as needed until we start getting to the gasoline section of things. Make sure you sell your grapes when you get them and manage your money properly. And again, if you still don't feel super comfortable with Downstar, just make sure to slow down the video and watch what I'm doing, and you can still feel free to copy step by step until you get more comfortable and feel like you can expand in a different way that you'd appreciate or like more. Just to check up on you guys, things changed a little bit, and if you're watching the time lapse, you can kind of tell where it changed. But I built the refinery and the paved road 2 blocks to the right of the first warehouse, as long with a water facility right behind the refinery. next to a lake, obviously. So now I get two water points on the refinery, so I don't have to bring gallons of water to the refinery. And I also have moved my energy producing team basically all the way to the left of my farm, so it doesn't affect my crops and it doesn't affect, how quickly my other stuff works. And then I also built petroleum farms in front of my refinery, so they're close. So when the little scientist goes and collects the oil, is right in front of the refinery. All that makes it so that I can get energy to my refinery. The water behind my refinery supplies the resources, and the petroleum in front of my refinery provides, the oil side of things. Now I have all the resources I need for my refinery to produce more gas. As you can tell, I only have 11 gas left, and I'm cutting it close. Eventually I won't be able to sell anything if I don't have gas. So this is why building gas is important. Now my plan is to destroy my water facility and exchange it for, automatic water supplies. So I don't even have to grab the barrel. I just have enough water provided to my refinery from the get-go. And while I wait to replace my water facility, I'm also making more lakes throughout my map so I can start farming more grapes, therefore getting more money in return. And that's the best way to go about it. You can get as much money to be able to build your self-sufficient farm as soon as possible. So now that we've replaced our water facility for a water pump, we're gonna go ahead and make a power plant right next to our refinery. Why? Because that would be the smartest thing to do, cutting out having to pick up a battery and bring it all the way back to storage and then to the refinery, to just having enough electrical support right next to the refinery. Eventually we'll place two next to the refinery and then a second refinery. So that second refinery can make petroleum while the main refinery makes actual gas. Because once you get the oil and the crude oil and all the resources, it turns into petroleum, and then you can turn it into the gas that you use. If you watch the time lapse, you may have noticed that it was taking long for me to make gas, and that's why. Now you can see what I was talking about earlier, where I have two refineries right next to each other, so one of them can make the petroleum and the other one can make the actual gas. I also went ahead and added another pump so that the second refinery didn't have to worry about water either. And now when I place the second power plant right in between the two refineries, they both will have enough water and enough fuel to work automatically without having to really touch them. Now, this is a closer example to what the final product will look like, but it's still nowhere near what the final product will look like in a sense. We have everything we really need, but it's still not placed in a way that would optimize our sales and the speed of the farming. In the next clip, I'll show you what a closer example to that would look like. And as you can see, this is basically the final product. This is how it should look like when you're done, in my opinion. Because after the last clip I showed you, you can really veer off in whatever direction you want. But this is my preferred direction. I moved all the buildings to one side of the map and all my farming to the other side. I made sure I had a little spot for the trees. You can see right there on the top right. And it's enough wood for me to be able to facilitate any new buildings if I want to upgrade, if I want to downgrade for some odd reason, or if I want to build something new. I have 4 storage units for my grapes, which means I can hold up to 80 grapes, I'm pretty sure. And they stack up, and oftentimes I have more grapes than I can sell because my truck is not fast enough, even though I have the trade depot, which is an even better truck. But all that to say that after the last clip, you can, take my version of a complete farm as an example, but really you can veer off in whatever direction you want, so long as you are getting the outcomes that you want. That being said, thank you all so much for watching my first grape brush guide video, and until next time, stay meta. Peace.